Hello, Texas, and wherever you may be listening. This is the Chad Hasty Show on Newstalk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. I am your host. My name is Chad Hasty. Thank you for tuning in. Glad to be with you again here on the radio. Phone lines are open, 770-5790, toll-free, 1-800-687-0790. The KFYO text line always open, where you can send in your thoughts, your jokes, your comments, and even your complaints. And even your musical selections for Jody. It's true. At 806-680-2790, that's 806-680-2790, the first voice you hear from when you dial in today. Jody Smyers on the other side, just a man looking for a good cup of coffee.
And it's not ready yet.
I was wondering what was going on over there. There's no coffee, which is strange. And we have a lot of furniture out where we normally have nothing. It's something's happened. I don't know what's going on. It's all different around here. We've got a lot to talk about today. Larry Williams of Williams Brake, Tune, and Tire. He's going to be here at 9:35 today, taking your automotive questions until 10 a.m. Brenda Doobie with United Supermarkets will join us here in just a little bit. And we've got a lot to talk about because the Republicans right now, they cannot get this health care legislation done. They've only had 7 years. I mean, let's give them a little bit of a break. They've only had 7 years to come up with a plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. Trump has only been in office now 159 days. So they haven't had a lot of time to come up with a plan. But hey, listen, maybe they'll come up with a plan over the July 4th recess. It's very possible that they could come up with a plan at some point. So that is something we will take a look at today on the program. Also, we'll get into John McEnroe. Remember McEnroe, tennis player? There's a little bit of a controversy going on because McEnroe, he was doing an interview. And he was asked about Serena Williams. Serena Williams, you know who Serena Williams is, Jody?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the sisters.
Right. And, one of the...
Venus.
Yeah. Very good tennis player, okay? Very good tennis player. And he was asked, how good of a tennis player is Serena Williams? And he said she's the best female tennis player in the world. And the host of the show got upset and said, don't you mean that Serena Williams is the best tennis player? And McEnroe went, no, that she wouldn't even make the top 700 if she was competing against the men, which,
wow.
I don't know about top 700. I don't know how many great tennis players there are in the world on the men's side, but, he was saying, no, she wouldn't rank in the top 700 against the men. So he's come under fire, and people have asked him to apologize, and he has said no every single time. He's like, no, I'm not going to apologize. She would not, she would not be better than a male tennis player who is the best in the world. She would not be better. And he's come under some fire on that. So we'll talk about CNN in the middle of a war with Donald Trump. So we'll get into all of that today on the program, your phone calls as well. 770-790. You can send in your thoughts via email, chad@kfyo.com. That's chad@kfyo.com. When we come back, Ruby with United Supermarkets in studio. Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show, Newstalk, 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO. Hope you're having a great Wednesday morning. Larry Williams coming up here at 9:35 to take your automotive questions. So get ready for that. Joining me in studio right now, corporate dietitian with the United Family of Stores. It's Brenda Doobie. Brenda, welcome back.
Hey, how are you?
Great. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
It's all time at United.
It is.
A lot of things going on.
It is. It's summer, and so some of those, it's one of my favorite times for some of the fruits because there's such great variety. We've got berries and watermelons and cantaloupes and honeydew melons and, all these great fruits. But one of my favorites are some of the stone fruits. Stone fruits are things like peaches, plums, nectarines, all that kind of fun stuff. And some people, they think, well, a peach and a nectarine, kind of the same thing. And they kind of are. Nectarine's kind of smooth, but a nectarine's actually a cross between a peach and a plum.
Really?
So it gives you that nice smooth texture.
Okay.
And peaches have been around for thousands of years. It originated in China, but now the majority of them are grown in California. But we have some great ones here in Texas as well. So and there's cling peaches. And the difference is whether the flesh of it is firmly stuck to that pit or if it can be easily removed.
Okay.
And then from there, stream out all the different varieties in there. One of my new favorite varieties is the peach pie peaches.
Now that just sounds delicious.
I know, right? And my daughter, when I was telling her about them, she thought, well, I didn't know they made a special peach for pies. And no, it's just that it's so good, you don't even need to make it into a pie. They're kind of flatter, round, they're really yellow in flesh, and they're super sweet. And so you are stop by one of our stores, find one of our produce team members, and ask for a taste. Remember, you can always do that. It doesn't cost anything extra, and I promise you, you're really going to like it. And the other great thing about peaches is they're good for you. They're refreshing. They're low in vitamin C, which helps your immune system. But remember, it's also a powerful fighter against things like cancer and all the damage it can do inside of you. And then vitamin A is another great source in the peaches. So that orange flesh tells us beta carotene. So it does a couple of things. It's important for our eyesight to help us see clearly and be able to see everything, and for our skin. It helps to protect our skin as well. So especially when we're exposed to lots of maybe more sun during the summer, that's a great way to help keep your body fighting any kind of skin cancer and keep your skin nice and healthy and elastic and any damage that might come from any of that.
Very cool.
Yeah. So they also have a little bit of iron, which is helpful to, get those red blood cells nice and healthy and oxygen pumping, and maybe go for a little bit more walks in the summer. So it all works together.
And what's also, what I like about peaches, especially in the summer, it brings back memories because, like you said, peaches have been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everyone has, memories of, eating a peach with your grandfather, grandparents, mom, dad. Everyone has like memories associated with that, it seems. I don't know. It's just, it's kind of, it's one of those foods that you can go, oh yeah, I remember, when I was a kid eating this. So they're always good and easy to find at United supermarkets.
Yes.
And the peach pie
peach.
That's what everyone needs to try now.
Those are any of them are great. Those are just really great. And
Very
they have
cool.
flying saucer peaches. They have all kinds of varieties.
Very cool. Brenda, thanks for stopping by today.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we're going to wrap up this half hour of the Chad Hasty Show, KFYO. proud sponsors of the program. What you need to do is log on to theabcbank.com, find the location closest to you, and then find out about their lending department. We know if you are looking to maybe purchase a brand new car or a used car, make a big family trip out of town somewhere, but you need a little extra cash to get you by. Well, at American Bank of Commerce, they have you in mind. They have a number of different programs that they can get you connected to, and they will have you in mind with their service at their lending department. Great people. They're going to take care of you. They're your neighbors and your friends. At American Bank of Commerce, log on to their brand new website and check out their brand new app as well. TheABCBank.com. Proud sponsors of the Chad Hasty Show. All right. To act in the best interest of the United States. This from CNBC. President Trump may sound different than other presidents, but he believes in American values and tries to act in the best interest of the U.S., said former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice on Wednesday. Quote, I believe every president of the United States stands for our values, said Rice, who served as Secretary of State and National Security Advisor during the presidency of George W. Bush. You heard President Trump say, for instance, after the Syrian chemical attack, we can't let that stand. What he was saying is President of the United States cannot let it stand. So Condoleezza Rice coming out and, see what some websites and some news organizations come out and say against Condoleezza Rice. Because she's still a pretty powerful figure on the right, and someone who is respected by quite a few people around the world. And it'll be interesting to see if she's attacked by, CNN or MSNBC or any of these other news organizations for coming out and saying, hey, listen, no matter what you think about it's interesting coming from Condoleezza Rice, and that she appeared on CNBC this morning. She said, while the language may be different, might talk about needing to deal with policy, I think you're going to see that American interest and values are always linked, Rice said. It's the early days in this administration. Let's remember that. On the global landscape, Rice said the U.S. needs to protect itself better from cyber intrusions, highlighted by Tuesday's latest global ransomware attack and evidence of Russian interference in the 2016 election. She added, Russia, in the context of the election meddling, needs to be viewed as a hostile power. Well, she had better be careful labeling them that. Remember when Mitt Romney said that Russia was a geopolitical foe, and the left said, oh, come on, Mittens? Look, yeah, the Cold War is over. Now the Democrats don't like Russia. Republicans are sort of okay with Russia at times. It's kind of flipped a little bit, but still, yeah, Russia, a geopolitical foe. You can't trust the Russians. At the end of the day, that's really what it is about Russia. You can't trust them. The issue of healthcare, and we're going to get into this in the 10 o'clock hour. The Republicans, when it comes to replacing Obamacare, they're not sure exactly what they're going to do. They don't have a plan. We're up to 9 Republicans, 9 senators who are against the current bill. And it's not just conservatives, not just moderates. It runs the gamut of ideology on the Republican side that are against this bill. They're not happy with it. They can't vote for it. And remember, you can only lose 2 Republicans and still pass something through the U.S. Senate. So Mitch McConnell came out yesterday and said we're going to wait until after the July 4th recess. Now, the July 4th recess is all next week. The Senate will get back into session on July 9th, but they're probably not going to do anything on that Sunday. So Monday, July 10th, would be the soonest I expect any type of vote. I don't expect it then. because now we're getting we're hearing. Remember when John Cornyn appeared on the show and made headlines for it, he said by the end of July they'll have 3 weeks. You know what happens in August? It's the August recess. Because, working 3 weeks, you need a month off. So the August recess will kick in and nothing will get done the entire month. Chad Hasty Show, KFYO. We'll be right back.
And when it does, the Democrats are going to be left in the dust, folks. And it
degrees. Lake Allen Henry at 75. Currently, Lubbock's official weather station at 73. .905, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Newstalk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. Phone lines are open at 770-5790 or 1-800-687-0790. The KFYO text line always open at 806-680-2790. Coming up at 9:35 this morning, Larry Williams of Williams Brake, Tune, and Tire. So much to get into on the show today, including, and I completely missed this, but over at CNN, apparently they used Elmo as a panelist. Did you hear about this? I need to go see if there's YouTube video of this or something. But apparently CNN, the Supreme Court yesterday coming out and saying that the travel ban, for the most part, can continue under Trump, and that we can, they're going to hear the full testimony and case in October. But as of right now, most of the travel ban can continue as Trump ordered, because he's president of the United States, and the Supreme Court went, yes, the president of the United States can shut down travel anytime he wants to from foreign nations. According to the Daily Wire, popular Sesame Street character Elmo sympathized with the refugee kids in an interview Monday with CNN, remarking that the refugee children are just like kids in America. Elmo was part of a panel that included CNN reporter Clarissa Ward. If you're a journalist and like a serious I know I'm saying serious journalist in CNN. I know. But let's just say you're a serious journalist and you're interviewing Elmo. Does that take you down a few pegs? And nothing against Elmo, but doesn't that knock you down just a little bit? Like CNBC today interviewed Condoleezza Rice, and CNN went to Elmo as their expert on refugee children. Elmo, part of the panel that included CNN reporter Clarissa Ward, Sherry Weston from Sesame Workshop, and David Miliband from International Rescue Committee. Ward asked Elmo, this is just sad, did you find the little Syrian girls and little boys were a lot like your friends here in America? Quote, yeah, they really were. It was very interesting because they like to play and learn just like Elmo and all of his friends at Sesame Street. This is a supposed news organization interviewing a puppet as an expert on refugee children. Do they have refugee Elmo on Sesame Street? You think they have refugee? Has there been a terror attack on Sesame Street yet? Has that happened? Because, that's popping up in the real world. Poor Oscar the Grouch. Someone throws something in there. Man, be terrible. Naturally, things turned into a direct attack against Trump and his travel ban. as they continued to say that this was an attack on children, an attack on refugees. Though if you go back, how many children did you see in the videos of all the refugees flooding into Europe? How many women and children did you see? Didn't see a lot. Now I'm sure there were some. I'm not saying they weren't done. But if you watch some of those videos, it was a lot of young men that were refugees flooding into Europe. Now, here in the U.S., you got to be part of a family, and you know, they're it's a little bit different. The rules here are a little bit different. I will say that. But I don't think Trump's worried about the little boys and little girls. I don't think that's who the travel ban is targeted at. The travel ban is mainly targeted at the people you don't know who they are. And they're wanting to come from nations that support terrorism or hotspots for terrorism. Like, did Elmo have a problem when the Obama administration labeled these nations terror hotspots? Did Elmo come out and, slam President Obama? I don't know. Didn't see that. And no time, according to, this is a 15-minute segment on CNN. And the Daily Wire saying, at no time did CNN or Elmo inform the public of the fact that Trump's temporary travel ban is meant to improve vetting procedures for refugees coming from other countries designated by the Obama administration as risky when it comes to seating refugees with terrorists. In other words, the pause is meant to keep American children. At no time did CNN or Elmo inform the public that many of the people from that part of the world would prefer to stay. Which is what should happen. And in no time did CNN or Elmo talk about the trauma of separating children from their family or the terror risk involved in bringing refugees over with adult family members. Segment was clearly designed to emotionally blackmail American children and twist them into unthinking beings who will see President Trump as a monster who hates children. That's right. Trump hates the whole children of the world. And we're going to bring Elmo on and Big Bird. Going to bring on all the Sesame Street people to talk about refugee plans and the travel ban. Other networks, they had legal experts on to talk about this, and not Elmo. But Elmo making a big splash yesterday on CNN. 770-5790, toll free, 1-800-687-0790. When we come back, your phone calls and more. We'll get into a story that I did not have time to talk about yesterday about the Concealed Act, and the dumbest reason I have heard still why it should not go into effect. We'll be right back. Chad AC Show News Talk. Larry Williams coming up at 9:35. This portion of the show brought to you by my great friends over at SS Outfitters, Highway 114 in Levelland. When you're out looking to purchase a brand new gun, you need to head out and see my good friends Sky Stracener and his team at SS Outfitters. They're going to take care of you. You're going to have fun when you go and purchase your new gun. Even if you're looking for a used gun, he's got a lot of the used guns in stock as well over at SS Outfitters at great prices. If you are looking to buy an AR-15, he's got those in stock. You want to build an AR-15, he has those in stock as well. He can help you out there. If you're looking for a new concealed carry gun, open carry, you're just looking for a new long rifle, guess what? They've got them in stock at SS Outfitters, Highway 114 in Levelland. Always do business with Sky out at SS Outfitters. You can head out today and see him at SS Outfitters, Highway 114 in Levelland. Like SS Outfitters on Facebook. All right, so let's see, a couple of things. In the AJ about the Lubbock Law Enforcement Citizens Academy. Last night was the graduation for the Lubbock Law Enforcement Citizens Academy. I had the pleasure of being in that class. And it was, and you've heard me talk about it a few times here on the show. They're going to have another class in August, and they've already, closed the application period for that, and there'll probably be another class early next year. I don't know if they'll have a third class this year. The next time they open up applications for the Lubbock Law Enforcement Citizens Academy, I absolutely encourage you to apply. It was an absolute blast. You learn a ton of information, and it's eye-opening. And longtime listeners of the show know I'm a big supporter of law enforcement here in Lubbock and around the U.S., just a big supporter of law enforcement. And even if you are someone who is, just like me, you support Lubbock law enforcement, you support law enforcement in general, the information you will get will still open your eyes. The ride-alongs that you go on will open your eyes. It is all very interesting information that you learn. And I had somebody on Facebook last night who asked me, "Okay, I get it, but." A little bit, I call it a peek behind the scenes, and what the average citizen may not see, why the different law enforcement agencies do what they do and when they do it, what they are looking for when they pull people over. What are they looking for? What type of behaviors are they looking for? Some of it's obvious, some of it's not so obvious. What does the crime lab look like in Lubbock, Texas? That was cool, going through the crime lab. They have what's called the field day, where they take you out to the range and to the driving course. That was awesome. Everybody loved that. So just so many different things that go on during the Lubbock Law Enforcement Citizens Academy. They're held on Tuesday nights, basically 12 weeks. About 3 hours each Tuesday night, and you hear from the sheriff's department, you hear from the police department, and you hear from DPS on a rotating basis, and they bring different angles, SWAT, Border Patrol, all kinds of different things into play, and you learn a lot of good information. And so next time it opens up, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, chat@kfyo.com, if you have any questions about it. But it was a blast, a great time, and again, God bless our law enforcement officers out there, because they've got a tough job. They've got a tough job, and it's a job that just overall they're still, thankfully, but overall in the nation, there's still this anti-police attitude that is out there. Don't think just because Trump got elected that that attitude isn't still around. It is still around. It is still out there. And so, classes like these, and I think they should spread to every community because it just gets more people involved and people learn a little bit more about the law enforcement officers and agencies that they have in their city. So, great class. So I strongly encourage you next time it comes open, go ahead and apply. All right, this is from the New York Post. This is what I talked about in yesterday's morning brief. You can check that out, KFYO on YouTube. The district attorney in Manhattan, Cy Vance, I guess he's one of the DAs, slammed Republican legislation in Congress that would allow licensed gun owners in other states to carry weapons in New York City as dangerous. He said he was talking about the National Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act, and he said this. That's right, Jody. ISIS support concealed. He told 9:70 a.m. This past Sunday. He said the we're not. Never been to one. The NRA-backed Concealed Carry Reciprocity Act would allow a qualified individual to carry a concealed handgun into or possess a concealed handgun in another state that allows individuals to carry concealed firearms, according to the description of the House bill. And so Vance said, so a guy from Idaho, where there's no... Oh, no, you got to worry about those crazy folks out in crazy people. He said that I think Congress members have to think long and hard about whether they play into the hands of terrorists. You could get up. I forgot the part of the Constitution where it said those people in West Virginia should not have the same laws as the folks in New York. That's in there somewhere, right? In the Second Amendment where it says, the people in New York, they're protected by a bubble, and folks in West Virginia, the hicks. Those bumpkins up in West Virginia carrying them. It's reciprocity laws. So that way, I guess they can go and get fingerprinted and background checked by the FBI and get a concealed carry like that. I'm going to go and then I'm going to do an FBI background check so that way I can get my license to carry. I'm going to take the class, do all that kind of stuff. I'm still undercover. And then I'm going to buy a whole lot of guns. Like, that's the thinking of this guy. It's absurd. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, who would think Manhattan would be a hell of a lot safer if you had a bunch of folks from the good state of Texas. I think a lot of people would feel comfortable with that. There are some folks who they refuse to travel to cities, larger cities, that ban guns because they want to be protected. They want to be able to protect themselves at all times. But this is a guy, to say we don't want to play into the hands of terrorists. What an idiot. What an absolute fool. This guy thinks that terrorists are going to take the time to go get a license to carry. and then take the guns into other states. What an idiot! But yes, this is the one of the DAs there in Manhattan. He knows all you ISIS supporters out there. 770-5790 toll free 1-687-0790. Larry Williams coming up at 9:35. Meeting will take place in Elementary School at 4401 Nashville. Or, stormwater rates, anything like that. You can go to the It's not.
That's right. Remember, let's check your car. It doesn't cost anything. We're not going to try to sell you anything. We just make sure your car is safe. So come by.
Yeah, 311 19th Street before you head out of town. Doesn't really take long at all to do a trip check, does it?
No, it's a lot less time than if you're on the side of the road with something. So just takes a few minutes. So
Yeah.
it's a great thing to take with you. It might save you from being stuck on the side of the road also. So we'll put that up today.
Well, and there are different things on there that'll help kind of keep you cool on the side of the, because it's hot out there. Don't know if you've noticed. It's a little warm.
Yeah.
It'll be warm.
And, so be careful.
If you're heading to, Phoenix, what they were doing with 122 degree weather. See,
Yeah.
now,
No.
it is.
That's the difference between 200 and 201.
Yeah, it's
they're both that bad.
Yeah, it's. I think tomorrow it's only going to be right around 105 or so tomorrow. So not too bad.
See?
Not too bad at all.
Well, you'll need your coat in the morning, right?
No.
Absolutely, but it's not going to be too bad. And my son and daughter have a fireworks stand, and they'll be having a lot of fun tomorrow.
They'll be in the shade though, right?
Yeah, there's no air conditioning in the fireworks
No,
stand.
there's no. Yeah, there's but